Hello, good morning students. How are you? Before I start my topic today, I want to say you something. It's my request. You can understand it as request. I can't force you. We know you are not watching all the videos that are sent by us, whether the subject is science, history, geography, mathematics, etc. Because all the messages we are watching in our mobile phones, that out of 300 students only 80-90 students are watching the videos. So you don't do this, please. It's my request to you. Please watch all the videos and cooperate us, cooperate your parents, and cooperate our school in this situation, the pandemic through which the whole world is going. So beta, it's my request again. I am telling you, don't take it lightly. Do your homework properly and send us to us regularly and learn. And writing work also completed by you. When the school open, there will be no writing work should be left by anyone. So only learning work should be done. So let's start at chapter 15, that is our environment. Today I am going to teach you about food chain and food web. This chapter is from class 10th. So first, let's define what is food chain. Food chain is the process of eating and being eaten. Food chain is the process of eating and being eaten. Means when different organisms arranged in different trophic levels, they form a chain by their food habit. How one organism is eaten by another, and another is again eaten by another, and the process going so on. So if we see the trophic levels, at the lowest trophic level, starting from downwards or bottom, we can see that first sunlight is received. This is sunlight. Sunlight is received by the producers. Look at this. They are producers. Producers synthesize their food and again they transfer it to the consumers. As you know, consumers are of three types. Primary, this is called PC, means primary consumer. Then your secondary consumer, this is called SC, and tertiary consumer, this is called TC. So in this way the process of eating and being eaten occurs. So here plant, green plant, here herbivorous. Let's take example that deer. Next, secondary consumer is your tiger, and tertiary consumer is your human. So here what happened, after synthesizing food by using sunlight, the producers supply the food to deer, means primary consumer, then to secondary, then to tertiary. Here I explain you that plants receive 2 to 10% of sunlight and make their food, and out of the food organic materiality what it produces, it provides only 10%. So if plants synthesize the food that is 10,000 kilojoule, then it is only transfers 10% of it, means 1000 kilojoule to the next trophic level, and then 100 kilojoule, and then 10 kilojoule, so on. In this way energy transfer occurs. So here we can see that plant is eaten by deer, deer is eaten by tiger, and human eats both plant and deer. That's why it is kept in the last trophic level. So we can confirm for the example that food chain is decided by the trophic levels and the organisms present in a particular trophic level. Let's take another example here. Suppose for example here is grass, again eaten by the rabbit, and rabbit is eaten by tiger. So here the food chain is up to 3 levels. So this is producer, this is primary, this is secondary. If we take more examples then we can, but let's. So this, suppose this produces 10,000 kilojoule energy, it gets 1000 kilojoule energy, it gets 100 kilojoule energy, and in this way energy transfer occurs from trophic level to trophic level. These are called the trophic levels. So our topic is food chain. So in the food chain, energy is transferred from one trophic level to another trophic level when that organism is eaten by another organism. Like your grass is eaten by rabbit, and again rabbit is eaten by tiger. So here human beings are kept in the last trophic level, that is called tertiary consumer, as it eats both grass, and grass means herbs, the products like your wheat, rice, maize, etc., etc., pulses. So they are come under grass family. That's why I am telling you grass. All human beings not eat grass, so don't get confused. Products, plant products, as well as animals also. We are omnivorous, means omnivorous are those animals or those organisms who take both plants, plant products, and animals. That's why human beings are kept in the last trophic level of the food chain. So during food chain there is transfer of energy occurs, and that energy is received by the green plants from sunlight, and green plants synthesize their food by using that light, and again after synthesizing the food it transfers only in an average of 10% to the next trophic level. That's why the trophic levels placed in the top of the food chain gets less energy. We can say it as energy flow. So here one question also arises, that why energy flow in an ecosystem is unidirectional. Energy flow in an ecosystem is unidirectional, means why energy is transferred in a single direction, because it can't be reversed. Why? As only the green plants have the ability to synthesize food and to produce energy, so it can't be reversed. That's why it is called energy flow in ecosystem is unidirectional. And the rule, this rule, 10% rule, is given by the scientist Lindemann. He said that only energy is transferred 10% to its next trophic level, and the last trophic level will get the less amount of energy. So here when food chains are occurred, as we know, a particular type of organism do not eat a particular type of species. So here we can see how food chain occur. So let's see what happened. Here food web is formed. Food web means when many food chains interlink with each other. Interlinking of many food chain produce or make a food web. Make a food web. Web means trap or net through which we cut fish. So let's see the example. Suppose here is the grass. Grass is eaten by deer, you know. Again it is eaten by grasshopper. Again it is eaten by goat. So let's see how they interlinked. Grasshopper is eaten by frog, obviously. Deer is eaten by tiger. Goat eaten by tiger. Again frog is eaten by snake. Tiger is also eaten by snake. Here tiger is also eaten by snake. Let's lion also we can take example. So they all fused in a net or in a web fashion or web manner. That's why they form a web. So in this way food web is formed. So how we define food web? Food web is the interlinking of many food chain. Means when a single the species of a single trophic level is eaten by more than many organisms, and they interlink with each other, means they are eaten by many. Suppose your grass is not only eaten by deer, grass is also eaten by grasshopper and goat also. So here if we consider the food chain will go so long, and here the food chain is short, here also food chain is short. So this type of short and long food chains together interlink and make a food web. So this is about food chain and food web. Our next topic is how do our activities affect the environment. As we know, due to increasing population, our need is increasing nowadays. Need means every need. We need a house, we need job, we need education, we need food. So that's why we are polluting the environment or harming the environment. So how our activities harm the environment. Suppose here we can take the example of pollution. Suppose air pollution. Air pollution is caused due to the smoke that are released from the vehicles, industries, and burning of fossil fuels for producing electricity. So they are pollute the environment and the organisms also get affected. Here remember one thing, the pesticides we are using in crop fields to produce crop, or we are using chemical fertilizers to produce large amount of crop in a short time period from a small area. So here when we add pesticides or any other fertilizers to the crop field, then what happened? Then it is washed away through water and goes into water bodies. And when it enters the water body, then there it is taken by the zooplanktons, and again the zooplanktons is taken by small fish is taken by large fish, and large fish is taken by the fish eating birds. So here what happened? The amount of pesticide we add to the crop field get increased when it enters into another living organism's body. So that pesticide get increased, and at last trophic level, means when it reaches at the last trophic level, its concentration is so much high that it may cause cancer or stone, the problem we are facing now, without taking any if we not properly wash the vegetables and pulses or cereals, then we affected from the problems like kidney stone, gallbladder stone, and cancer also. So how this occurs and what is this process called? Here I will tell about biological magnification. So what is biological magnification? So we can define as the increasing concentration of DDT or other pesticides in successive trophic levels. Is called biological magnification. Here DDT means diphenyl trichloroethane. This is used as pesticide. So when we add it to the crop field, it is taken by the insects, or either if not taken by the insect, then it remains on the crop field. And when it comes in contact with water, or when we take the crop that is in which DDT is used, then that crop also goes to our body, and when it goes to our body, as it is non-biodegradable, this is non-biodegradable, means its degradation not occur, so it remains same. If we add 5 gram of DDT, then the 5 gram remains exactly the 5 gram. But when it enters to our body or other living organisms body, then its concentration get increased. That is called biological magnification, which we are studying. So here I am giving you the example that how excess amount of DDT or pesticides cause the decreasing number of bird species. So listen, what happened? First, the DDT that enter into water body enter DDT, then it is taken by zooplanktons. Zooplanktons, small insects present in aquatic medium. Then zooplanktons are taken by small fish, then small fish is taken by large fish, large fish is taken by fish eating birds or human. Fish eating birds or human. So here what happened? The DDT, if we add 5 gram, then it increases. Here it will changes to 6 gram, here 7 gram, here 10 gram, and here 100 gram. So you can see in how much ratio it get increased. And when it enters to the last trophic level, it affects its metabolic activities. Like for your example, fish eating birds means the birds, those are depend on fish or eats birds. The birds, those are eating fish. They get the maximum accumulation of this DDT or pesticides, due to which its calcium metabolism get affected. Remember, calcium metabolism. Calcium metabolism get affected due to which, as we know, the egg cell is made up of calcium carbonate. The egg cell is made up of calcium carbonate. This is egg cell made up of calcium carbonate, and the calcium metabolism get affected, due to which when the bird lays eggs, then it ruptures, and before hatching, it means before releasing of the bird or putting out of the bird from the egg ruptures during its laying, so it will decrease the bird species. That's why. Another case happens in Japan. The Japanese eat maximum fish, so they have found that maximum accumulation of DDT, due to which they suffer from cancer. In the world, the most affected people from cancer are found in Japan due to this biological magnification, as they are using the DDT and other pesticides in the crop field, and which goes to the water bodies. And you know, most of the peoples in Japan live in or near the water mediums. That's why their main food or cheap food is fish, so they get the accumulation of DDT. This is called biological magnification. The question may arise, what is called biological magnification, and your answer must be the accumulation or the increasing concentration of DDT from successive trophic levels. Means in a food chain, when one organism eats another and another is taken by another, then here the concentration get increased and the last trophic level get maximum accumulation of that toxicide or pesticides. So this is how our environment affected. Again, I am telling you that the environment also get polluted due to other activities. So we have other activities like our activities, means we are throwing the garbages here and there. If the garbage is non-biodegradable, then it blocks the open drainage system, due to which flood-like situations occur in. So we have to manage the garbages we are producing. This topic will be studied in detail in the next chapter. So here next we will study, the next topic is ozone layer and how it getting depleted.